Hi, I'm Wendy Stone, your host and reader for Storytime. Tonight we'll be continuing Dog Upon Atlas into Chapter 2. Thanks for joining me. They'd taken Jomi to the largest hospital in the city, Golden Jackal Medical. I gave the morgue attendant a fair amount of credits to let me into the morgue and leave me with the body. "Hey, pal, do you mind?" I asked as he stared. "Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'll give you a few minutes. Don't touch anything else." Yeah. As soon as the double-panel door swung shut, I opened the drawer and uncovered Jomi's body. My heart broke into 1,000 little pieces all over again. "Sweetheart," I said, "what happened to you? Why were you in that van? Did they take you too?" Jomi was nothing like the other missing dogs. She came from a good family, had a good job at the local paper. She had friends and family that loved her. But if I thought about it, my missing dogs had little in common either. From different boroughs and different classes. Darlin', could you have made that more cryptic? It's time I got involved? With what? I asked, staring down at her. "Who is her, Jomi, huh? Is this her shirt?" I patted the thing peeking out of her pocket. "Is she a friend? Someone in trouble like you? Is she on the run? Is it Africa?" "My daughter, Africa. They'd been friends as pups, but as far as I knew, they hadn't communicated in years." "I don't understand, sweetie." I rolled her gently out of the paunch she'd been wearing. It smelled heavily of the sulfuric sweet potato pie scent. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out how you'd get that smell. I then pulled the only other object from Jomi's paunch, the shirt she tried to unload on me. "Considering it was one of the last things you did in life, Jomi, I'm going to assume it meant something." To preserve the smells and get them out of my nose, I hunted down some plastic baggies from inside the morgue supply room, then stuffed her paunch inside one and the shirt in another. "Fairy view, fairy view, fairy view." I repeated the word while brushing her limp ears back into her neck. "All right, Jomi, I'm going to take your case." I removed my scent ledger from my inside pocket, turned to the last page, and beneath my last missing dog wrote, "Roxy, Bergamot and Magnolia, my gang leader." The next line, "Dirty mongrels. 6 points. Also, see Roxy." I went a few lines down. "Jomi Stronghawk, sweet potato pie and sulfur." My paw hovered. "Used to smell like vanilla and pine." And the next line, "Shirt with initials TF. See Jomi minus vanilla and pine." I closed it up, stuck it back inside its own baggie, and bent over Jomi one last time, licking the dirt and muck from her muzzle and kissing her cheek, then slid her back into the cold. Since I'd already paid the morgue attendant to leave me the room, I figured, what the hell. I used his desk phone and completed the first task, called my daughter. She was fine, at home and alive. I lied, told her that everything was okay, that I'd see her in the morning. The next morning, when I'd tell her that her puphood friend was gone. Better to save my energy for the second task anyway, telling my best friend that his daughter was dead. But not over the phone. I left the morgue and took the longest stroll through the hallways. Benson Stronghawk lived in East Harlem, not a 10-minute run from the Eastside Hospital, but I wanted to walk. Hell, who am I kidding? I may crawl all the way across town. As I was making my way from the basement to the first-floor exit, I nearly ran into a gurney, overhearing 2 nurses. "Take these to Mr. Stronghawk. He needs to sign them," one of them said. "He's in the long-stay hall, right?" the second one asked. The first nurse nodded. I turned smoothly on my heels and trotted behind the second nurse to a bay of elevators, then hopped inside next to her, humming with the muzak while staring at the floors. There were thousands of Stronghawks in the boroughs. There was no chance that my Stronghawk was here in the hospital. So why was I following a random nurse? 100% pure avoidance. I was good at that. The thing dumped us on the second floor. I followed her down the hall for a long stretch until she entered a room. Waiting until she'd exited, I entered. There was one occupant. The dog in the bed turned on hearing the door shut again. It was him, Benson Stronghawk, my best friend. Well, it looks like Deacon's reality is shrinking. I hope to see you next time. Until then, stay warm.